Before everything falls apart, let's stop and talk about emergency action plans and how they can help prevent this kind of chaos. When you step into the outdoors without an emergency action plan, even a small incident can turn into complete confusion. Let's take a moment to walk through what an EAP actually includes and how it keeps your group safe. An emergency action plan is a structured document that outlines how you will respond to unexpected emergencies in the field. It identifies specific roles, evacuation routes, and communication strategies so your team can act quickly and confidently when something goes wrong. EAPs are crucial for ensuring the safety of your participants, maintaining operations, and minimizing disruptions during an emergency. Every EAP starts with a clear trip overview. This includes your trip name, dates, general location of your expedition, and the leadership team, along with their contact information and assigned roles. You'll also want to document your full student roster to ensure accountability for every participant. Additionally, your itinerary provides a day-by-day picture of where your group intends to be, where you plan to sleep, and how your vehicles are identified and located. This allows emergency personnel or program leadership to track your movements throughout the trip. Your EAP also includes critical additional information, local emergency contacts such as law enforcement, search and rescue, and other public safety personnel, as well as hospital addresses and directions to the hospital from multiple points along your route. You'll also want to highlight your contact protocol. This clearly identifies who to contact within your program and in what order, in the event of both an emergency and non-emergency. Most importantly, an effective EAP outlines your evacuation strategy. If an emergency occurs, be sure to follow 3 essential steps. First, assess and stabilize the scene. Ensure the group is safe and evaluate your patient's condition. Be sure to determine if their injuries are life-threatening. If this is the case, then you'll want to take the next step in your emergency action plan. Communicate and activate. Follow your program's contact protocol and select the appropriate evacuation route based on your current location. These evacuation routes should be highlighted before your trip. After enacting your evacuation plan, you'll want to move on to step 3, execute and monitor. Continue to manage your group, ensuring their safety while monitoring your patient and providing updates to off-trail public safety personnel. Now that we have that information, let's see an example of an evacuation plan in place. The group we saw at the beginning of the video is currently on a 3-day backcountry expedition within the Cutler Coast Public Land Trail system. The trip both begins and ends at the Cutler Coast Public Land Trailhead here. Because this is the only reliable access point for vehicles and emergency responders, all evacuation routes are designed to move the group back to the trailhead as efficiently and safely as possible. On the first night, the group is scheduled to camp at the Black Point campsite. If an evacuation were required from this location, the group would travel northwest along the Black Point Brook Cutoff Trail until reaching its junction with the Inland Trail. From there, they would continue northwest on the Inland Trail back to the Cutler Coast Public Land Trailhead. On the second night, the group is scheduled to stay at Ferryhead Campsite number 3. Evacuation from this area follows the same overall strategy. The group would travel north along the coastal trail until reaching the Black Point Brook Cutoff Trail junction, then follow the same route used for evacuation from the Black Point campsite. Given the high level of exposure at Ferryhead, leaders should carefully assess environmental conditions and shift inland early if necessary. In that case, the group would follow the inland trail all the way back to the trailhead. Currently, our crew is on day 2 of their trip, about a half-mile northeast of Long Point campsite, when their emergency occurs. At this point, their best evacuation route would be to follow the coastal trail north until they reach the Black Point Brook Cutoff Trail junction. From there, they will carry out the same route used for evacuation from the Black Point campsite. Now that we have that information, we'll transition back to our crew in the field, where you can see an alternative scenario unfolding. This time, the group has an emergency action plan in place and is carrying it out calmly and efficiently, with clear communication, demonstrating how pre-trip planning and route knowledge directly support a successful evacuation.